If you carefully think about it, we are all a little biased towards Swiss watches and movements over all the other watchmakers in the world. And there is a reason behind it. It all started in Switzerland for a lot of watchmakers out there. It is the mecca of watchmaking. And one such watch brand to come out of a Swiss town of Le Locle in the Jura Mountains is Tissot. We all know the history of Tissot and how it has been instrumental in changing the shape of the Swiss watch industry. Most of us have either bought a Seiko or a Tissot as our first good watch. Agree? To highlight the fact that I just stated, Tissot has a great lineup in the form of PRX, C-Star, Chemin de Tourelle, Sideral, Le Locle, Heritage and the Tradition series. All of us at some point in our life are looking to buy a formal watch for formal occasions. So I thought it was time to tell you more about this age-old Indian tradition with the Tissot Tradition series. By the way, we also have a tradition to subscribe to our YouTube channel and the Instagram page. What I have here with me is a great combination of tradition mixed with sports with the Tissot Tradition Chronograph, which is a 42mm case and is a pretty sleek watch at just 11mm thickness. Can you see this beautiful 316L stainless steel case, which has a rose gold PVD coating housing a white dial with 3 sub-dials on the inside. The dagger hands, markers and the numerals are painted in rose gold as well, giving it a very rich look. A tilted date window between 4 and 5 o'clock position adds a bit more functionality to the watch on a whole. Mounted on the dial is a mildly domed sapphire crystal without the thicker edges that you usually find, which makes this look more uniform and premium to say the least. The watch only weighs 67 grams and wears slightly larger, so if you have a wrist size smaller than 7 inches, this could be oversized. The case is finished in polish, which is decently good as it doesn't attract too many scratches. On the either side of the case, you will also find brushed polish to add more layers to the watch and make it more scratch resistant. Turning behind will not amaze you at all with an opaque stainless steel case back with the usual literature that you would find. This is a Swiss quartz movement powered by a Renata 394 battery setup. If you go hard on your watch, the battery may last just a couple of years. It also has an end-of-life battery indicator where the seconds hand jumps in 4-second intervals, so you know when it's time to get them replaced. An alligator-styled grained cowhide brown leather strap is of an amazing quality. Seems to have lasted really well with the Delhi sweat at the least. Although I honestly avoided wearing outdoors in the blazing heat. A butterfly clasp with an adjustable strap adds a bit more modularity to the watch. This one's got a meager water resistance of 30 meters, but it's also not built for outdoorsy stuff. Goodbye adventure. Now I know this is largely a dress watch, but the chrono setup here adds a bit more fun to the otherwise boring watch. You have the central seconds hand as the chrono hand with the sub-dial on the right to track 1/10 of a second. Then there is also a 30-minute time counter on the left sub-dial. The lower sub-dial is the general seconds hand that runs all the time. Now you can push the top crown to start or stop the timer and the bottom crown to reset the timer. You also have a split function to read a second time without disrupting the first one. Pull out the crown in the first position, press the lower crown to set the chrono seconds hand. Now if you want to adjust the 1/10 counter, you can press the upper crown and then using the lower crown, you can set that timer. Now if you want to adjust the 30-minute timer, press the top crown again and then press the bottom crown to set the 30-minute timer as you can see here. Now using the chrono can be really typical as you just saw, and if you know it really well, it could be a boon for you. But the problem is you need to have the right occasions and those many number of occasions to use the chrono extensively. For me, I just like to fiddle with my watches and hence I use the chronos from time to time. The Tradition series kicks off from 30,000 rupees and goes all the way up to 80,000 rupees. Tissot has very neatly stitched up an entire collection of dress watches in this very crucial price category. This particular watch that we are seeing today is priced for 48,000 rupees as of today, which roughly rounds it up to $600. The competition here is intense with a flurry of automatic watches. Who wants to buy a quartz when you have so many watches available? With Seiko's Cocktail and Style 60s in the Presage collection, these are two dominant watches in this category. Hamilton Khaki Automatic is an amazing watch to have which ticks all the boxes. Citizen Toyosa Small Seconds has been a force to reckon with, while Citizen has definitely made a home run with this collection. Bulova watches have a really cool collection in the form of Jetstar, Surfboard, Sutton, but the challenge is, how do you get it? Tissot Caesar Quartz is another really cool watch to have, especially with the new colors that they have introduced in their whole lineup. In case you have a brand fetish, you can either go for a basic Rado Diastar, you could also opt for the Frederic Constant Quartz collection, or alternatively, you could buy the cheapest Junghans in the form of Form Quartz watch. So now you have a few good brands and a few good watches to choose from. Which ones are you picking? Tissot Tradition Chrono is a really neat watch that has grown on me ever since I bought it. The proportions here are quite good and the rose gold finish does the trick with the large subdials shouting luxury. A very functional watch but also occasion specific, or should I say tradition specific. So what do? Buy an automatic which is available by the dozen these days, or do you want to buy a Tissot Tradition Chrono? Take out some time, venture out to every watch dealer, try out every other watch before you take the final call, because it's crucial to decide what looks good on your wrist. Well, that's my 2 cents. What are you wearing today?